So it's something I think I missed while he's pulling that up. The intent is to have the red versus blue be asymmetrical, so not have an option for the red to have targets as well to attack, so they'll be basically completely defensive the entire time. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I'll bring up the tracker. If we note anything along the way, I'll type it in there real quick so that we don't forget it. Same. Still black for me. That's working. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, that was a little bit late, man. Yeah. I could tell you this, man. Don't pull your hair out doing that stuff because I used to do that all the time. And once you do two of these or three of these, you're gonna be like Jesus fucking Christ. So set everything to like for future ones. Set everything just to 200, 300, 100, and 400, and then let the guys get in the jets. And set their everybody's got an alternate like blank line jet skin that doesn't have any call signs on it. It's just blank, and they can you can put that on every jet so that if they don't change it, it's still got their squadron's paint scheme, and then you can just have them manually go in when they get into the jet, pick their skin and their modics, because otherwise you'll be here going back pulling your fucking hair out when you got a bunch of other stuff to worry about. So, but I feel your pain putting in tail number modixes and all that stuff, man. It's not fun. Yeah. So, good. Mm-hmm. I saw it in the triggers. It's a good idea. I think that's good. Yeah. 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 So is the intent for it's to be a linear mission where you go from one point to the other point to the other point, or is it to be that you're going to pick one of these targets to attack for so the blue side commander basically can say, okay, we're going to attack uh, target 2, and then create an instance where the red guys don't know where the attack's going to go, but they have to basically field their fighters and create cap points around the map and then respond accordingly to where the blue 4 goes based on the GCI, based on um, their own sensors and things like that. Is it linear? Yeah, so my thought is, and this is just my perspective, we did a mission with the 501 guys, and they did it like that, where it was four waypoints for four different targets, and then basically the like I explained it, the blue side commander picked one of those targets, and then the red side had to react to it, and they had to basically game plan. They knew what their forward line of troops were, they knew what their areas that they needed to defend, but they didn't know which one they were going to go for. So you could, if we were to decide to go that way, you could easily basically take that back target and place it all the way to the east, and then I don't know what the distance is from Tonopah to the first target, but create it so that 80 miles. So I would say that's probably about right. 80 to 100 miles maybe, if we wanted to go that way, push the other one out to the west maybe, and then so that they have an equal distance to respond to either one, and they're kind of their base is centrally located, and then because they're worst case scenario they're gonna have what 20 or 40 what 30 guys airborne, more than 30 guys airborne, so that could be if they're on Hornets, you want to try to create an environment where maybe they're not all kind of concentrated in one area, or they have some restrictions like they can only have four aircraft airborne at a time, and then until a threat is detected, and then they can scramble jets from cold and dark and basically hop in the seat and start their jets up and then scramble that way, like kind of what would simulate a real environment versus having 40 jets up in the air waiting for the bad guys to come. Um, but that's just my thoughts. I think that the linear is good if for maybe the PvE, but maybe PvP they might be too smart to try and make that effective. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can even put the one in the middle, leave it in the middle, leave it somewhere central, and then make it so that I don't know what the distance is between the one and two, but so that there's three distinct options that they could possibly go to, uh, and you know what I mean? Yeah, right, 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 right. Like a strategic versus a tactical or something. Oh, you're already typing. All right, my bad. Good. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that gives people a chance to reorganize rather than just wanting to take back off again into that like battlefield kind of format. So you got guys that'll sit on the airfield, wait for either their guys to respawn, or they can, so they can reorganize. But that's also going to force potentially groups of aircraft that don't necessarily work together often, like different squadrons, to have to reorganize and then go back out as a flight if not their whole division has been eliminated. So you could have two VFA 14 and two 105 guys flying together, or one from each squadron, or whatever the case may be. So that's an unforeseen circumstance, but I think that would be kind of a desired outcome that we're trying to get to anyway, unintended. And the other thing, if you're good, you can also, I mean, the without running scripts on this, like any background scripts, the stuff that's going to be kind of stacking up that normally happens in like the scripted missions is going to be a lot less taxing. So we should be good. If it ran longer, that's not going to be as much of a concern with like the Persian Gulf dynamic mission, where the scheduler is running and dynamic missions and things like that. Because once that starts to run, then you're kind of time limited to like a probably a 5 hour max. But missions like this, if you wanted to leave it up longer, like say you wanted to put it up at 2 hours before you even briefed it, you could probably run this for 6 hours without any kind of instances where it starts to rubber band, or any of those other things that are associated with the server being up for a long time. Just as an option, if you wanted to throw it up and then still have the mission time be 2.5 hours, you know what I mean? Just so it's available. Yeah. So if you've got, now that we're talking about splitting up the targets to a wider plane across the map, if you have blue four or red four that commits guys to cap on the east side away from the airfield, then you just want to be able to have a tanker within that region for them to be able to tank on, and vice versa for the other side. So I would say if they're the same exact tanker and they're performing the same, they're able to refuel the same type of aircraft, then give yourself like a 150 200 mile or 100 mile distance between the two of them, so that the guys that are performing the mission in that area, the map, have it as an option. They don't have to come all the way back to the middle to get gas. So my thought was you've got to, if we're assigning an aircraft for every, especially if you have to redo the 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 frequencies, if you're going to do the presets. I don't know if you had planned on doing that, but if you're going to, if you're okay, so my idea is that you're occupying less spots on the airfields, less aircraft that are basically preloaded, waiting for somebody to hop into a jet. So you would only really have to, if we're gonna do 2 squadrons per side, you'd have to replicate the 14s on both sides, but you would only really need to have 2 squadrons full of Hornets, and that might potentially open you up to allowing guys in their second run to run an airframe like an A10 or a Viper or something like that if you're running low on space, so that you're not having 400 units, even though they're not necessarily spawned in. That still has an effect on the overall mission load. So by not hurting anybody's feelings and saying that Camelot's going to be on the blue side, you could use some generic tactical call signs like the ones that are in that post. And then if you're assigned to the blue side, then you pick one of the squadrons that are assigned Cowboy or Archer or whatever, vice versa, so that you can eliminate that problem. Not the more we discuss it, probably not. But might be something to consider for the bigger missions later on. Um, for when we get into the Persian Gulf and things like that. You actually need to click on that box up on the top bar, that box above it, yeah, and then you put it, add it over the top of the waypoint you're trying to, or where you want the waypoint to be, and then you type into that comment, you type in ST, I think there's DP, and then a couple other ones, and then hit add. Yeah, yeah. So go, yeah. So there's no actual waypoint there. That's, yeah. I didn't see that. What an asshole. Yeah, that's a good one. No fucking. I'm good with it. I add weather, man. Yeah. So when you go and you look at attack view with static units, there won't be anything that's visible, so you won't be able to tell if you were able to get bombs on target. So I'm not saying for everything because I know that there's a lot of stuff that isn't available as a red 4 unit. But if you can, like some of those targets that you put down on the airfield, if you change those to go to the helo option, like you're going to place a helo down, um, and then you just make it uncontrolled. Uh, you should be able to place it just about anywhere on the map without a need for a runway, so that you can actually see where those targets are to see if people had good effect or not on the when their bombs fell. But yeah, on Russia. Okay, no, that should work. They're targets from the I forget what pack gives it to us, but if they're assigned to Russia, then they will appear. Then that's fine. Yeah, it's if you use the statics with like a little bridge. But they should appear in the debrief though, right? Yeah, that's what I'm. Do you have tac view, Kilo? Can you just yeah? How'd you get that? The E2. Oh shit. Oh yeah, because the ground difference. Mhm. I know for like the some of the buildings, there's a mod that we have in the core mods that will enable certain statics to be basically created as a visible unit that you can see. So like the comms tower, the factory, the tanks. When you go into it'll have a little asterisk next to it, and it'll say comms tower with an asterisk so that you know that it's a converted static. I got it from Pikey. Oh, nice. Nice. Good. Good shit. You can also, if you want, I can write you a little script for the scheduler so that you can have these tankers respawn without having to create new tankers. Um, it'll you'll just have to add it in the triggers. Let me see if I can throw something together. Keep what you got for now, and then I'll try to. Are you saving this one to the Google Drive, or is this one on your personal computer? Okay. Mer- okay. Cool. No, you can't. Yeah, you can't do it, man. Red flag is. Probably not chase out A's because they have a harder effect on the server when you're shooting a lot of them. That looks good, man. I didn't know you penned all your letters, Dan Queen. That was your. I think it looks good. Really good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think 35 would be optimal because that's also you're looking at how many if we can somewhat balance the sides too. So 35 is you're looking at what 16, 17 or so, 16-ish, maybe 16 and a half. So 17 and a half. So that's a good amount, man. For especially NCTR, it's already a relatively small map. So hitting on that, are we looking to the you said air to ground, but are we looking to balance the air to air to kind of realistic loadouts so that guys aren't taking 10 AMRAMs or what is it, six Phoenixes or eight? Was it six or eight Phoenixes? Six. So that yeah. Yeah. Certain SAMs, certain SA10 will shoot down a JSOW if it's got the certain radar, search radar, track radar. I think it is. I don't think so. I know an F-18 AMRAAM can shoot down a incoming SAM from an SA-10. Really? Whoopsie. I mean, it did the job it was supposed to. Hmm. Yeah, like put your imagination cap on, and we're taking off from Lemoore, and we're heading to the boat. Everybody's landing on the boat, and then that's kind of it. It's not combat related or anything. Yeah. Hmm. Good deal. Yeah. Yeah, it should be fine. It's either going to be awesome or it's going to be a shit show. So hopefully by then we've got some updates to the carrier for the Case 3 stuff. You're typing Moe. You're too low. Scroll up. You're where you're typing. You're below the taskbar. You can't see it. Oh, I'm looking at your notes, your meeting notes. Unless you're not intending on us to. Oh wait, is this the? I'm thinking I'm. Oh man, I thought I was looking at the stream. I'm a fucking idiot. Never mind. Disregard. I'm looking at the OBS and I'm thinking that I'm watching the stream. I'm like, he's not moving. I don't know how he's typing down there. God damn, bro. I woke up at 4:30, bro. You guys give me a break, all right? Yeah, I was so confused too. Oh my god. I don't think we should do a Zoom conference, man. We won't get anything done. Just use your camera for my free cams, man. Make a little money on the side. Fund your next cockpit. At least that's what I heard you do. I don't know. I've never been on there. Like to thank my Patreon subscribers. Just so you guys know, I'll be out of town the week of just after the red flag mission, the initial one. I'll be out of town that whole week. Um, so for work, so I'll be back the following weekend after red flag. So if there's any mission or any meetings that pop up, uh, I'll try my best to pop in via my Mac or something. But you guys might be on autopilot without me. Think you'll survive. So that might be something that we need to adjust. We'll have to game plan it based on what the super carrier does. But right now, if you start the carrier in case 1 and it turns to case 3, it'll still recover you in case 1 comms. The lights will turn on, but it won't give you any kind of like right now. It'll give you marshal instructions for case 3, like an assigned altitude and stuff, but it won't do any of that. It won't give you your final lock on or any of those comms if you start in case 1 conditions. In theory, yeah. I mean, I think that the super carrier comms for case 3 are pretty good. It's where we get into case 1 that it kind of lacks, but that's up to you guys. We hopefully it's going to be fixed. Hopefully it's fixed by then, and we're not. It's a moot point anyway. What's the dates for those? Like a Tuesday night or something? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And that'll be October. I can tentatively work on I could work on mission 2 most likely. I won't know my schedule, but that gives me enough time to at least create it, and then even if I can't partake, then I can have it made. I'm also working on the 24/7 server, so if anybody that rewatches this after the fact wants to jump on one of these, I will gladly come off so that somebody else can jump into. But tentatively, I'll do it if nobody else does. We'll be able to split that up to different target areas too, right? We're not locking ourselves into to 20 aircraft trying to bomb one point on the map. We can kind of coordinate and maybe do some TOT type planning with that. Yeah. Saber, I'm trying to catch up on the calendar on the forums with everything that we laid out. You might have to circle back though and fill in after. Yeah, and honestly, no need to reinvent the wheel, man. You could just use Bones's Caucasus dynamic mission, delete everything off of it except the aircraft on the airfield, and then just go in and you can delete everything off of the carrier. You can delete everything else, and then just make your mission revolving around that. And then even if you just wanted to use his scripting for the red side for the whatchamacallit, all you'd have to do is really just put in the target and the waypoints for each of the squadrons because he's got everything else already loaded in there, which is what I'm planning on doing. Uh, I'll start working on it right now, and at the very least, and then I should know by next week what my schedule is going to be for next month. Roger. Already added the bug tracker and issue tracker for those next two missions. So once we get something product wise out, then guys can start bug testing it and checking to see if there's any stuff reporting it to that same sheet, just a new sheet to it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you taking the lead again, Saber.